5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're live with Neve.
All right. Happy Friday, everybody. It's been a great week for me. I got a lot of things done that I needed to get done. I've been going to therapy to get myself beaten back into shape, and it's working well. I feel the burn, and that's a good thing. All in all, things are crazy this week. We've got, let's see if we'll turn on our information source here. Yeah, we've got all kinds of stuff going. Trump got arrested last night, along with a bunch of his henchmen. They're out there doing henchman stuff. I wonder if they like wear, trench coats and I don't know. They're kind of like flashers, like trench coats. So I don't know. Maybe they're out flashing people in their government issued Brooks Brothers jacket in black. See a bunch of guys with little earpieces in, and they're flashing people. You know what's up. It's just the FBI. They're out doing their thing, having fun. Even an FBI guy needs to have, blow off a little steam once in a while. So good morning. We have our lovely guest and co-host Mandy She will be joining us just in a moment. Mandy, the original Twisted Ginger. You got to check out her band. They kick ass. They're a lot of fun. And all I can tell you is go out and check them out. They kick ass. If you like rock and roll, you're going to like them. And today we have our Aussie Abroad. This was an experiment, and it's still underway. We've found that some of the things that are technically a pain in the ass about having somebody when they're roaming about the world is we just quite don't know what's going to happen with the Wi-Fi and the whole Bluetooth thing. And our guy has just been really super, and when it works great, and we enjoy having him. I expect we'll see him joining us shortly. Let's see, what else have we got here today? Well, let's see. Yesterday, I went and got interviewed for the John Schneider show as I don't know what you'd call me, just some kind of a mutant animal who has my hand in a few different pies, and that's the way I like it. You only eat one pie, it gets boring. You could have apple one day, lemon another. You got to have those choices in life. I'm a big one on choices. So while I'm waiting for this to come up, let's bring on Mandy and see what she's been doing.
Hey,
Mandy,
what's up?
how are you?
I'm doing all
You are.
right. Happy Friday.
Say that again.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. And
Yeah.
it's good to see you. I guess you've had a little time to have some fun this week, relax, get a little chill time in.
Yeah,
I know that you need a little bit of
exactly.
that. So when are
Yeah.
you going to be back at your full-time balls to the walls work again? Is that coming up in September or?
Ooh, yeah. September, what is it? 5th. So then it's like work during the day, 2 weeknights, and then weekends. And that's what it
Gotcha.
is, you know?
Yeah. Well,
Yep, back on the grind.
there is no rest for the wicked, I tell you. It's not going to happen. But that's okay. What else would we do if we didn't have all this fun stuff?
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
so I went and did the interview with a friend of mine named John Schneider, and John Schneider has a bunch of websites. He has 175,000 people in the New York area who subscribe to all of those things you see, like about New York or Manatee County or Highlands or any of
Yeah.
these towns. He
Yeah.
he owns them all. He's got like thousands of subscribers, and
Nice.
I've hired him. He's done work for me. I've done some stuff with him. Jack and I, my former guitar player, acted in a drug warning not to do drugs. And we got Down Under now with us. Hey, Doug, what's happening there? My legend from Down Under, the Thunder from Down Under. Doug, we got to set a date to have you on, man. You're always up at this time, and it's perfect timing for you and perfect timing
Yeah.
for us, and we're long overdue. People, if you're looking to hear a guitar player, my friend Doug is the shit, okay? He can play guitar with any part of his body. Well, I only know about I mean, he may be able to
Really?
play with other parts, but the guy's got skills, man. That's all I can tell you. He's great. Him and I went to a psychic. When she took one look
Huh?
at my hand, she went, "You got to get the fuck out of here, dude. Go, take your money. Here, you can have some
No.
money. Get out of here." And it was fun. And then she hit him up for the advanced package, so he got many more insights into who he was. And
Yeah.
I thought it was weird when he came out from the first one, and he said, "Oh, you can go in and do yours, and I'm going to go back in." And I thought, wow, that must have been really some insights, and you might be learning things about yourself you never knew. It's like
Yeah.
I think I want to be a psychic where when people call me, I'll just have to have a real tiny disclaimer by the lawyers. Anything said here is totally satire and complete bullshit. And if you
Yeah.
if you consider this
Totally full
mental
of shit.
health advice, please see a competent psychiatrist for real advice.
Yeah.
But like, I would like get them to put their hand up to the camera. Hey, here, we're doing these. See, now this is your lifeline, and if you'll notice, it starts here, but it stops right there. So considering, like me, I'm only 60 years old. I'm probably right at the crossroads here. Getting too close for my thing, but otherwise I could look at him and go, "My hands, you must go! Please, take yourself. I've never seen such a hand." Or, they come up with some sob story. Yeah, my boyfriend dumped me or my girlfriend dumped me. Well, tell me a little bit about yourself. Do you have hey, good morning. We got Gina in the house and Victoria. Then we have
Hey,
the
Gina.
down under crews all coming in. We got a few more coming in. And we have our Aussie abroad Doug who will be out. He's going to be in some castle in Scotland. And
Yay.
hey, if the gods are great, I mean, when it works, he's got some cool places. I
Yeah.
just I think I want to go over there and get myself a title. I don't. I
Oh,
know
like
the
what kind
king wants.
of title?
I want to be
I want to
like
be titled the Red Fool.
I went a few years ago. I have such a really calm sense of humor always, and I took a girlfriend to the Mema Museum. Figured I'd get her out. She's kind of an intellectual chick. We're gonna go out and see some culture, and so we go out. And when I'd signed up for the yearly membership, because you get two, I ended up with a free date. That first time, two free tickets, blah blah blah. So, as a goof, when I was talking to the lady as I was signing up on the phone, I said, "Yes, my name is Baron Neil Ernest Van Erdy." And so the first thing she said on the phone was, she goes, "You mean not Baron a name?" But I said, "No, Baron is a title. It's not a name." And she said, "I've never met a Baron before."
Nice.
Of course,
You were
I said, "Well,
the first.
we're just like everybody else, but we're just, we have a title."
Yeah,
Said we're
exactly.
descended from royalty. Would you like to meet me at the Hilton tonight? At any rate, something about that English accent always makes American guys and gals go crazy. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it works
No,
for
not
you.
me. But I'm a weirdo.
Yeah, well,
I
that's
don't have the
true.
typical taste,
Well, I know
so.
you're here with me. It shows a lot about your taste and your life decisions. I
The
mean,
company I keep.
the company I keep is tremendous, though. I think we're going to start.
Right.
I'm gonna. We're gonna get your green screen to work so
Oh
that we
yeah,
can.
you can see I have all my gear still from this weekend. Like there's my Barry Saxonic side. Oh hey, hi Irish, how you doing?
Yeah, hey man, Veronica, baby, Toby. All right, got our usual posse of friends, family, and
Nice. Good
let's see
morning,
who else is gonna
friends.
come in. So it's good to see you guys. I'm sitting here. We're having kind of a relaxed day. We've only got our Aussie abroad. This afternoon we have Brenda B and Deems Walker, who are the Brenda B show, which is kind of a variety show. Not quite as it's more wholesome than my show, and a little more meant that you could have your
And she wants to
grandparents.
come on here and talk to us.
Yeah, tonight she's gonna come on. We're gonna interview her about what she's doing. She's also the what would I call her? The advanced person for Magda, the woman who we'll talk about. I don't know her name, so I'll ask her in the interview. She's got
Uh-huh.
this wonderful singer, the one who I got bounced from uh, Facebook for a month. I supposedly
Yeah, you
propositioned
told me
to
that story.
her.
Oh yeah.
I didn't.
Oh
I
yeah, I
didn't
gotcha.
mean
I
like
gotcha.
I was gonna go over and stoop her. I mean, give me a break. The lady's married for one thing. Number two, I was totally. Anybody who knows me knows I'm just a spaz and was making a joke.
Yeah.
So remember this, people.
Yeah.
If you're watching the show, here's just a quick. Here's the deal. If I say something on here and it sounds so ridiculous that it's not true, or it could possibly be not true, know this. It might be true, or it might be just around the edges. And some people that I talk about, I have to make them a composite of two of them because otherwise people who know where the bodies are buried would know what I'm talking about. I
Yeah.
have a lot of friends
I
out
like that.
there
Yeah,
that
it's yeah.
they all know that the last thing I want to have happen is come on here and get them in trouble. It's just very rarely do we really go off the rails. I know it's happened everybody here has seen the show long enough to know sometimes shit just happens. And today I found another show, and she's stolen one of my words. Evidently, she's talking about legal fuckery. So I'm going to have her
Oh
on the
my goodness.
show. I want to talk to her. Any woman who's a lawyer, first off, she might just be a great interview and be really interesting. But we're going to find out what her particular favorites are in this
Yeah.
area. So it's going to
Yeah.
be kind of an interesting thing.
Oh, a
Yeah,
message from Veronica. Hey Veronica.
hey,
Guys, doing
babe.
good. We went to the beach. It was pretty
Yep.
awesome.
How are you doing down under? Is it cold still for everybody? It doesn't matter. Any of you who are down there can let me know. I know it's winter. Rick Davis, but stoop sounds better for. I know it's stop, but
Hey,
somehow
what's
just
up?
a stoop. It's longer. It sounds like
Hey,
doesn't
longer's always better.
longer.
Go with it.
Longer is good. Longer is good.
You're
Usually,
like that's your hidden gem right there.
I
I
don't
call
know,
it
man.
stoop because it's longer.
Yeah, I mean, so let's see what else we got going on. I'm waiting for the good news to pop up. Oh, we've got Steve. He's roaming around Scotland. He's there. Can you hear me, Steve? Just nod your head. I think I can hear him in my headphones slightly. I'll bring him up. So we're gonna be going to a break right now, and then we're gonna have on Steve Baird, an Aussie abroad.
Nice.
He's out with one of his mates. They're drinking beer. They're having fun, and they're here. Look at this. They've got the Blarney Stone or something behind them.
Woo!
Look at this.
Great.
But
We're
I'll have
going on
him
a trip.
on after the break, and we'll be right back. Let's see what we've got here. Okay, now, who do we have to? Carlton, I'm going to cut your ad in half. I want to put it in two spots because it's too long. I love this guy, and we need to. I want to make his ad better because I just don't like the transition, and I'm a picky bastard. I'm gonna do it for him. I don't expect him to pay for it, but I just don't like it. It's too long. It should be going 30, 30, 30 as much as possible as
Yeah,
far as
people's attention
the
spans.
clips.
2023. That's where we're
It's
at.
like people just have these short attention spans, and no matter how good something is, I could be
Yep.
listening when I'm scanning music for the show. Like last
Yep.
night, I listened to like 200 bands, and I found like a half a dozen, maybe a dozen great new talents to have on. Some of the things I want to change. You and I will be doing some brainstorming over the course of the next couple of weeks about some changes to up our game. I am working on
Nice.
the new intro, and we got to have one. And so I may call you and send you some tracks to have your guitar player or something shred over if he has the way to
Oh
do
yeah,
that.
he's
So we'll
sick.
have a nice opening, and it'll be something that I don't have to pay royalties to some lame record label. It's not my own. But at any rate, yeah, so let's go to a break. We have Carlton Wilkinson here, people. He's a great composer. And the record, we've got these two songs. It's a very diverse record. The guy's got chops galore, so some of the songs are like really musically. Anybody who's a musician, he's a musician's musician. You'll hear little cool things that you didn't hear before. These are the two songs that are singles that are good songs, but I'm always a B-side kind of a guy. Like there's some songs that I just like that aren't necessarily the single, but once you have a single out, people might gravitate towards it if they like your sound. So anyhow, the point I'm trying to make is there's a lot of amazing talent all over the world. I haven't found anybody to rival Fulu Maziki yet, but I'm working on it. I like those guys.
Yeah.
If you don't have anything to work with and all you've got is chain hoists, things to bang
Yo,
on,
it's
and you got a bunch of
awesome.
people dressed up in their funky suits. I mean, that you ever seen that guy who can dance with his feet and wears like a Watusi
Oh
outfit?
yeah,
His feet move
yeah,
like
I know
10,
exactly what you're
and the guy's body doesn't even
It's
move.
like holy shit. Yeah,
It's like, damn, I gotta learn that some dance steps. Shit, they get me some money.
yeah, exactly. Those are fancy feet.
Just jump over the drum set, land, and then start the happy feet thing.
Yeah,
Roll
yeah,
around the
just like
room
scooting across.
banging a cowbell.
It looks like yeah.
It's not quite as much fun as if I turned into one of those really crossed, failing zombies that raced across the floor, up the wall, and out the back door. Now that would be excitement for the
You just like
show.
bend over backwards.
Like really scuttle, like really thick and quick. He's like, that's a drummer? Oh my God. God, geez. Lord have mercy. So we're going to go to an ad. Remember, people, time, when you're on live with Neve, it's on Neve time. So you're here and
there's some changes headed like the Gulf Stream rising, like some gale that's been blowing off this wild bird island shore. And I can't say where, and I don't know when, but some old door's been opened in the restless shade. Poor man sagging cigarette takes the subway. Rich man folding old regret steps on the rundown below.
all right, we're back. We're going to have our buddy Steve, who will be on joining us from beautiful Scotland, I think, today, or Ireland. Where are you?
Scotland today, my friend. Scotland today.
That's
Nice.
Hey, Mandy.
Hey, Steve. How you doing?
Hey, really good. But I do got to tell you, I've got a bit of a storm coming in the distance. I don't know if it sort of shows up out there, but
Oh yeah, you can see it on that side. You gave us the good side first.
yeah, really. Here he is. He's live. We're going to watch him. He's got a kite, people, and we're going to run a key up the kite. We're doing a little Edison experiment here, or whoever that guy was.
I think it'd be more of an abseil down the front of that, would you not reckon? Hey, that'd be great.
So tell us about
Yeah.
what are we looking at?
Okay, so this is Belvedere Castle. It was built in about the 13th century. Deserted, burnt, rebuilt, burnt. No ghosts on this one, guys. Sorry. But yeah, this was someone's family home for centuries. It is surrounded by magnificent farmland, and I guess the people here would have been really wealthy in their days. They won't let us in.
Yeah.
The doors are locked and all that sort of stuff. It's about 4 stories high. It would be a hell of a thing. This is the one you wanted me to take you to, Neil.
I need my underground lair somewhere. I just don't know where yet, but everybody's got to have an underground lair. It's like better than a man cave. You have your submarine come in and
no shortage of those here, mate. This place is absolutely full of stuff you can't believe it just left behind.
Is it haunted?
This one's not. I know it's disappointing for you, but this one doesn't have a resident ghost, at least not in anything that I've researched on it. This one's about 5 miles from where we live at the moment.
Okay.
Where we live in Scotland. It's a beautiful little ruin.
Did they do any events there and stuff, like have concerts or druids?
No. When I couldn't get through to you last week, I was at Edinburgh Castle.
Right.
So we went down for the military tattoo, and I don't care what kind of music you're into, but that tattoo is just something. As a drummer, you'd have loved it.
Oh man, I bet. I love watching a big band when a big band that's marching covers like a contemporary song, it can be amazing sometimes. Here in the States, the Texas A&M band out of Florida, the Rattlers, are just unbelievable. They're like the group that Drumline was about.
Yeah.
And It's an all-black university, and they're
Okay.
primarily
Yeah.
black. They have the best. It is unbelievable. I really get pissed if they don't show the whole halftime thing with those guys because you watch it and you go, all I say is, I am glad I'm not that skinny guy carrying that 100-pound bass drum going boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, that sucks.
Drove
Yeah.
me
Yeah, but
crazy.
don't they do a great job?
They do, and like the
Yeah.
coordination
So
these
this is
days. So, can you go? Can
yep.
we go
So this is
inside
the
with
old
you?
food
Can you go
food
to the
store.
top? Oh, look, it's got a
This is the old
dungeon.
food store, I believe. So this would have been 2 levels high.
Uh-huh.
It'll
Wow.
be a cellar, a dungeon. Um,
We love
we're
that.
we're in a different
Sounds
castle
like an
this
old
morning.
girlfriend of mine.
One that was related from my wife's family. She's descended from the Campbells, which were very, very powerful here for about 600 years.
Mm-hmm.
Now, fortunately, most of them are dead. Sorry if we happen to be related.
Sorry, guys. If
But
you're Campbell,
yeah, the place is,
here's mud in your eye.
yeah, well, there are parts of Scotland, there are parts of Scotland where Campbells aren't allowed,
Mm.
and other parts where the McDonalds aren't welcome. The big feud. The what do you call the McCoys and someone?
Right, the Hatfields and the McCoys been going on for over a
Fields
hundred
and Mc-
years. Bunch
oh
of
well, this one's
white
around about.
trash Americans acting badly.
Yeah, well,
I'm
they're
sorry,
mostly
they're
descended
like
from
up there in
Scotland's.
the howlers of Kentucky. It's a horrible place. Just God Almighty.
Yeah,
There's some
most
great
of them are
spots in
descended from
Kentucky.
Scots and Irish.
Yeah,
My storm is coming in and starting to talk, starting to make
I
some
can hear
noise.
that. So,
Yeah,
what are you guys up to for the rest of your day? Do you have any exciting plans?
yeah, we're going shopping for the weekend's groceries. That's
Groceries.
it. We do normal people stuff too.
Well, yes, I have to
Um,
do that myself today.
yeah. Next week I've
Groceries.
got my friend from Seattle is going to be here. He arrives on Wednesday, and he's
Great.
spending 3 weeks here in Scotland, and we're just going to go out, seeing what we can find,
That's
this new that we
great.
haven't seen before.
Well, if you get
Gallivanting.
in any trouble, you can always call. We have a bail bondsman in Scotland, so
Yeah,
everything's
you'll
okay.
laugh at me.
You
Yeah.
got the hookups.
I know. Don't tell your wife. We'll just get the money sent over. Don't you know?
You don't have to wait. You can do that now. That'll be fine. Do
There
that
you
straight away.
go. We'll just give you. We'll get a retainer for you. It's always good news if you're really planning one of those parties. The plain
No,
green is fine. Thank you,
I'm not going to
Toby.
hang with you guys. That's me. I got to get out of here because it's a mile walk back to the car.
Okay. Well, it's great seeing you as always. Enjoy the
Yes,
rainy
Steve.
weather, and
Lovely to
we'll
see
see you
you
next
both,
week,
Mandy. I'm
maybe.
looking forward to coming to see your show when I get there.
That's
We'll
what
have
Watching it on
definitely.
Facebook.
so can't wait.
You know what? We may
Very
have
good.
to do a show when you get here where we just all meet here at the studio and do a
Oh
live
yeah,
thing.
yeah,
We'll,
exactly.
we can actually go out on a field trip. I have method of
Sure.
broadcasting, so we'll have some fun.
You could always come here.
We can even bring your little dude with us. He can be a cameraman or something. We'll get him some
Oh,
projects
okay.
to working on.
Yeah.
We'll give him a good
Sounds
job.
great. Yeah.
My son, when he was at that age, was just so darn cute, and I just still remember like how much fun I had with him before he became into the age where he's like doesn't want to hang out with dad. He'd rather
Yeah, yeah.
he's got girls to chase and all that other
Yeah.
stuff. But
Your
he's a
fella's
good
still too
kid.
little for that, Andy.
Yeah, and so all right, man. Well, we'll see you next Friday, and I don't know. Be careful. If you can't be careful, I don't know. Name it after me.
Yeah, buy a pram. Yeah.
All right, my
I'm going to
brother.
get out of the water, boys, girls, ladies, good folks.
See you next time.
I'll talk to you next week.
Bye.
All
See you
right.
guys.
Bye bye. Oh, I've got to increase Mandy's. We got to go full. There we go.
Go full
Got to have
swear.
that right billing time. I can't have you sitting there in a little cube while I'm stretching out. Boy, it is warm in here. I have to tell you, by next weekend, even though it's the end of summer now, I probably won't need to, but I'm going to put a window air conditioner in my studio. It is just so
Yeah.
hot in here. It's like the house it has one vent from upstairs. But, I live on the third floor and the air conditioner is 40 years old.
Oh,
So
that
it gets
sucks. Like
pretty warm. Like,
third floor. That's
when
hot.
it's 90
Yeah.
outside, like I can get it to drop about 8 or 10 degrees. It's still 80 and hot. It's just not humid in the house. It's tolerable. All you need to do is go outside if you're feeling hot and you come in and but it's definitely been warm. All right. Well, since we're back on the clock, it's working now. I'm going to play, we'll
Nice.
do a little profit motivated moment here. And then we're going to play a little music today. You know, folks, I've been, everybody who watches this all the time, I've really been going through a lot of ideas and trying to think of how to change up the show. You know, we got Mandy and I, that's solid. We have like our guy who's wandering the country who likes to pop in. And I hope you guys out there, you know, we're all friends. And if there's anything you'd like to see us perhaps go in and you know, check out, or if there's something you think that would be cool for the show, because everybody here I kind of consider family. You guys have all been with the show for years, and I appreciate it really. But I want to get some new peeps in for the new year. I want to get us so we're making profit, not a lot, but if we could just break even enough to pay Mandy and I a paltry, I don't know, we just want about 700 piece, but you know, 700,000. Trying to get the deal together, Mandy. So just bear with me. We're working it. But so I'm going to ask this, and people think about it. What would one of the things I do is I definitely avoid politics a lot. But I'm also kind of aware that most of the people in my audience are smart people. And one of the problems I see, and I have friends who are Republicans, I have friends who are Democrats. I think that a lot of times there's such suspicion of each other's motives that it's really hard to get down and sit down and talk to people who differ with you without getting in an argument or resorting to things that the TV kind of programs us. Like when Republicans call lefties a snowflake, for example. I don't like that term. I never have, because I like people when they debate with me to have some manners, and I'm not going to call them names. And so my
Yeah, that,
question
yeah,
for
yeah.
people watching is, do you think that the show should talk about politics and really be unbiased down the middle about it in the coming? Look, folks, you're going to be hearing a shitload of election stuff. If you'd like to hear our spin on it from a humorous angle, um, absolutely, anti-democratic party is going to be in there along with pro-democratic party. We're going to have people who feel very strongly about their side, and I'd like to give them a chance to talk without getting screamed at. And I'd like some Republicans to be able to make their case and show, like, the stereotypes on both sides, folks, get kind of out of hand. I have so many friends who are Democrats and I have friends who are Republicans, and I'll tell you this, anybody who I consider a friend is not some psycho, whether they're Democrat or Republican. If they're Democrat, they're not some crazy communists trying to tear the country into the Marxist revolution. And if they're Republican, they're not all out there wanting to, you know, do all the things they're accused of doing. You know, the Republicans don't get a good shake in the press, and they haven't for a long time. It's historic differences. But I'm going to say this to both parties: if you're out there and you care what my opinion is, you don't have to. I care about my opinion, and I don't go out and tell anybody who I vote for. It's just nobody's business. And I think most of us, if you meet a Republican or a Democrat, and you just sit down and you're talking about business or music, especially music, because that's something I can get along with anybody. I don't care who you vote for. Let's get together and fuck the voting. Let's just sit around, hang out, have fun, and you know, do the things that, guys. My number one goal with this show is just always to give you something to pop on. And well, I agree, but they will have their opinions, and I'm going to let them come on and talk about it. I'm going to referee it, so if anybody starts getting too crazy on either side, Mandy and I are both going to have an instant buzzer,
Oh,
and we'll buzz
oh,
you. And
awesome.
if like, we encourage, like, remember today, since it's, you know, it's Friday, it's the early show, and it's just kind of talking about the things I find interesting, more or less. And I just I wrestle with this because I don't want to piss off half an audience. And Rick, you know, just like, you know, you're entitled to your opinions, and you know, I don't go into my opinions, but you know what they are. Brian Charette, man, what's happening? Yeah, babe. Brian, for those of you watching who don't know him, is just such a great guy and a monster keyboard player, and his
Nice.
music is excellent. And I never get to see his show like at the time it's on. But you know, I admit it, guys. During the week, I'm an old man. I go to bed about 9 o'clock. You know, I don't sleep till midnight. I usually read for 3 hours, but you know, once it's not when I go to bed, man, the phone's off. And
Yeah.
my reasoning is, if I, like, I'm a morning guy. I get up by 6 o'clock. I've called everybody I love, all the people I like to talk to on a daily basis. If I have things to talk to you or, but there's only really a network of about a dozen people that I talk to, a couple of family members, a couple of cast members, and a lot of my old bandmates. Um, but it's kind of a different, it would be a different show if we start going in a more political direction. What do we
Yeah.
got here?
I mean, like for us, I mean, neither one of us like are politicians. Honestly, like to me, I think the world's fucked. Like I think we're all
Yeah.
fucked. So it's like, you know, like I just see things as well. This is the bullshit we have to deal with. How do you make your own little happiness within that bullshit? You
You
know?
know, I think that's a good point. I think all of us, no matter what party you're in, remember people what the Stoics would tell us. Like if somebody says something bad about me, imagine that somebody would say something unkind. First off, guys, if you send us complaint mail, I will move you to the front of the line. And if you make an honest bitch about the show and you talk to me about it, tell me what I did that offended you. I will give you all the time you need to talk about it. I will absolutely sit and entertain a notion somebody might bring up. And guys, listen, if you want to come on and try and have a gotcha moment with me, bring it on. I love those kind of things. Ask me the hard questions. I'm up at bat, man. I'll just remember I can aim that ball good. You'll be ducking if you ask me a stupid question because I'm gonna bat it right back at you. And I think, I think if we can all learn to just try and understand what is the best parts, what are the things with the other side you can get along with. It's not about everything that our party says we want, regardless of what party you're in. Think about the things that make sense that we know are not as controversial. That to me is what needs to happen. Because now it's like we're throwing darts at each other. Every day there's another dart. It's like, boom! Oh man, I've been hitting the head
Yeah.
with a dart. It hurts. When I was in boarding school, we used to have a dartboard put up across the hall, and there was a door next to mine, and people would be coming and going. And one day, this kid, I whipped the dart, and he walked right in. He got stuck right in the side of his head.
No, that's
Oh, and
horrible.
I'm like, oh man, he's screaming, carrying on. So I walk over to him, I'm like, calm down, you're okay. Let me look at it. And then I just went, snatch. I was acting like I was being real gentle. I said, let me feel. And I just snatched it out
Then you
because
just
I
yanked
didn't
it.
want him, I wanted it to just be done for him. And he's
Yeah.
like, you fucking darted me in the head. I'm like, what are you going to do? Go to the dean's office and tell him I darted you on purpose? And
Yeah.
after that, nobody would go and knock on the guy next door's door without making sure our door wasn't closed because we'd stand in the room and throw him down the.
That's horrible.
And it happened to me once. I walked in the door, and as soon as I walked in, I went, "Oh fuck!" And then dink, I got stuck right here. I'm like, and when I felt it in my head, I was like, "Son of a bitch!" Snatched it out. I'm like, I'm bleeding. I'm all pissed off. Of course, they're all laughing because they're like, "Now
Oh
you know
yeah,
what it's about."
sure. Yeah,
But
exactly.
those were some fun moments. I was talking to my friend Rick a few weeks ago about some of the pranks I've played over the years, and since we've got a little time, when I was in boarding school, we were really bad about pranks. I mean, horrible things. I can just tell you, we were fairly brutal. And one night I came in, and there was a guy at school who I won't use his name because he's still out there and a very wealthy guy now.
Yeah.
Um, he was obnoxious as hell, no fun to party with. We call him Richie Rich because he was one of those guys who just has so much money and not really much charm. He's a charmless man, is how I would put it. And what we did with him, he came in one night really plastered. On Fridays, Saturdays, on the weekends, we would be able to go and do stuff like we could go home or we'd go to our girlfriends or boyfriends. You could go. I'd hitchhike down to Boston, and it's alleged we'd pick up some weed down there and hitchhike back, to the whole length of Massachusetts. I mean, we're talking in the 70s. All the long hairs, we'd all pick each other up, and it was a lot of fun. He came in, and I went to use the bathroom on our floor. It's a typical college dorm. You got the
Yeah.
As soon as I walk in, there's this fat bastard. He's sitting in the tub, and he's passed out, and he's snoring. He's like, really disgusting pig too. And naked. I mean, look, guy or girl. There's some people who are really great looking, naked or semi-naked. There's some people that you can just say, well, let's just leave the lights down. When I tell you, we've all been in those moments. If you haven't, up your game, man. Try to get a little higher quality. You can leave the lights on. Anyhow, I see him and I immediately my brain is going, I go, get up out of the tub, you asshole. Come on, man. He just went, fucking slumped over. Well, we have a house parent downstairs. And so I've immediately, I know I'm going to do something, but I don't know quite yet what to do something, a prank of some kind. So I go down to the kitchen and start looking around. I'm like thinking one day I'll put some whipped cream on his head or shaving cream. I don't know. I'm going to do something. Then I open up one of the kitchen cabinets and I see food coloring, packets of 5, red, yellow, blue, all this primary colors, green.
Yeah.
So I grabbed the red one. Now, if I was to describe this guy, he was so pale and white. He was probably like Swiss or Nordic of some kind
Mhm.
because he looked like I'm being unkind here, but he looked like a little piggy. He's round faced. He had the egg shaped body like Humpty Dumpty. And I'm not knocking. Look, we all get what we get. I'm a skinny Italian fuck. It's just it is what it is. We have no. I don't know what to tell people. Looks are one thing, but brains are another. And sometimes people get a lot of brains and they're not so good looking. But it's just like music. I'd hire singers that have been turned down because they were too heavy, like some big chick who could sing like a fucking beast. I'm hiring that girl. I want her. I don't care what she looks like. She could look like Hogan's fucking goat. If she can sing 4 octaves and peel paint off the ceiling, come on, girl, you're in. I'll fucking throw you bonbons during the show, whatever to keep you happy. I'm serious.
Yeah.
I like my bandmates, having a good time. And I think that's
Yeah.
something that's lacking in music today. Ugly people don't get half the thought
Oh,
that the beautiful people get.
I'll tell
It's
you what.
just,
When I first started playing with that, I have all these stories, and there was that band with douchebag, and there was that other singer, and blah, blah, blah. Like they didn't want the other singer didn't want me in the band because I wasn't hot enough for him, and he was a piece
right.
of shit. So it's like to me, I'm just like, really, really, yeah, But it's a
Self
thing.
awareness.
It's a thing.
It's self awareness is the thing that sometimes is missing in lots of people, and it's just part of life. Musicians are like
Yeah,
herding cats, and that's why people don't who aren't are civilians, and they don't always. I mean, like I'll put it this way: our fans, Toby Simmons, Veronica, Gina, these women love music, so they totally get it. And people
yeah,
who, uh, you know, I know as well as anybody, and better perhaps, because I have to go out and try and find new talent that we like, that's good, and that we like as
yeah,
persons. Because I got to just tell you guys out there, everybody we have on the show, I like at first glance because I hear them and I watch and I look. And if I've listened to 3 songs from beginning to end, they've gotten more time than like 90% of what I hear. And it's not that I'm trying to be unkind to all the great bands out there, but I've been a musician my whole life, and as a result, I don't have to listen for 10 minutes. I can tell immediately when something catches my attention and it lasts till 50 seconds, it's going to be pretty damn good and exciting. And I'm trying to keep that quality up. Um, Now that you're here, there'll be things that we can help each other out with booking and that. But there's times where, like, I will call you and say, I want you to call this person who I've talked to because you're a woman and they'll like talking to you better than me. It's just a fact
and
of
this is a
life.
real thing. I even like, one of the guys in the band. All right, started Phil, our bass player. He started doing more booking stuff, and I explained it like this to him. I'm like, well, sometimes there are certain people I understand and I see it. I read people well. So all it takes is one
Yeah.
interaction. And I'll say, listen, you're going to have better luck with this person than me. I mean, part of it is I'll tell them to fuck off.
You,
Piece of
you
shit.
can you
But
can tell. And
yeah,
the fact that
exactly.
you've been a musician your whole life, so I mean,
No,
I've
you're
done
lucky.
everything it takes to get a
Yeah,
band. I mean,
yeah,
like to get it hired. I called, I may
yeah,
have told you on the story, about 20, 30 years ago, the bassist for the Headlights, who backed up Roger McGuinn, They went on tour with him. They were on Saturday Night. No, not Saturday Night Live. I think they were on that too. But one night I came home from a gig and they were on Johnny Carson. And I walked in and I hear them playing and I went, holy cow, it's my friends. Well, the bass player, when they'd come back, would play with his band
Mm-hmm.
around town. I go see them several nights when I'm playing in the area of Ybor City. I'd walk down to the club and hang out with them, buy them beers. I was trying to suck up to them so I get a lead from them about how to book this club. And
Yeah.
my friend kept telling me, yeah, I'm going to book you. I'm going to call. I'm going to call. He never called. So finally one night I was down in Ybor and I'm wandering around and I said, I'm going to fucking book this gig. I go
Yeah.
in, I give my card and my package to Scott Dempster, no, that was the bass player. I can't remember his name, who owned the Tropicana, but at any rate, I go in and I said, "Hey, I'm Neil. I'm with the Shakes, and I want to book you guys. We're a great band. You're gonna love us, rock and roll. You can ask any of the clubs we played at, blah blah." And I just closed it.
Yeah.
Oh no, I remember what he said. He goes, "Tell you what, call me Monday, and I'll get on my calendar. I got bookings through the end of the year. We'll hook up." So I called him back a couple of days later. I waited and I called him back, but I didn't call as Neil. I called up and I went, my best imitation of Scott Dempster. Hey man, what's up? Scott here. Yeah, yeah. Listen, a friend of mine, this guy Neil, he's going to be coming down there, and he'd like to. And then the guy goes, "Oh yeah, yeah. I think he came by the other night." And I said, "Oh,
Uh,
okay. Well, I didn't know." And I said, "But they're a great band, and if you can't get us, you should call them. They're a great fill-in." So at this point, he goes, "Well, I got my calendar here, so I booked from like August. It was about this time of year
uh,
through like February. We played there once a week at the Irish pub
nice.
for eternity. I mean, we were there for years. I mean, who knows? Children
Nice.
were fathered in that building. I'm not sure for who, and it certainly wasn't mine. But all I could tell you, it was a great gig, and
Yeah.
it's one of those clubs where they encouraged some encouraged. It's alleged that I have, but I've changed. I'm a kind of a gentler man, like George Bush or George the Elder would say. 1,000 points of light, baby. That's it. Because the acid's kicking in, and I'm starting to feel, oh shit. The CIA dosed me. It's not prudent. Bats. Fucking bats. At any rate. So, okay, we're time for one more commercial break. And let's see, I think we're going to go to a red fuck.
Red.
At a
Fool.
red fuck. Oh, and there's a radio show out where a lady who's doing some kind of a law project talks about legal fookery.
Oh, nice.
I was like, she stole my moniker, although I know everybody uses the word fuckery. I'm particularly fond of it because it's such a, it can be a noun or a verb. It can explain so many different things.
Yeah.
It's sort of like, forget about it.
It's good times, bad times. Yeah, yeah. Forget about it. You got
It's
to forget
like,
about it, then you got to
does
forget
that
about it.
mean it's good? No, it means, oh, fucking forget about it. The best piece
Yeah,
of ass
yeah,
I've ever seen.
yeah.
Or if you go,
Forget about it.
how'd it go with your first date? Forget about it. It was no good.
Yeah.
She talked all night. She wouldn't open the door, locked me out of my car. She was so dumb she couldn't figure out how to turn the latch up.
It
I
could be
dropped her off at the train
great.
station.
It could be how to go on your first date, and you're like, forget about it.
Man, I tell you, when I was single, that Tinder app is like the most grotesque way. It's like totally for just a hookup. But
It's
it's
really
like some of these people like you look at them and you look at their requirements.
uh
You know, it's like depending on what you're looking for. I don't want to hear or read one more ad that says I like long walks on the beach. I like dinners at Swangos every Friday. It's just like, nah, and then you meet them. Like one of the best ones is, and I've known women to tell me this. You go to meet somebody for a date who's recently been divorced and they're still fragile
yeah.
because no matter what they think, and I know, same with me when I first got divorced, I went out and started dating and I had to step back and ask myself, am I really having fun here? Is this like,
Yeah, yeah,
and I wasn't
exactly.
because I'm an old
Yeah,
school guy. I'd rather chat up some girl in the supermarket and say, you have your number? Let's go out and have a beer sometime or a Coke or
yeah,
whatever. And I've always met better quality of people than most of the people you would meet on a dating site. Because I'm going to guess that there's out of every dating site out there, there's probably 20% to 30% of the people that you'd really consider hooking up with. And that doesn't matter what type of person you are. It's just there's roughly 30%, three groups of people that are kind of alike, and they're going to have
Yeah.
same interests. I think same thing with age and all that. But just sitting there to me just seems pretty slimy, man. Sit here, oof, this one's ugly, kick her to the right. It
Yeah.
just didn't do something. And I don't know, plenty of fish is like plenty of carp.
Yeah.
Um,
It's
I
hard
never know
because you read people's vibes. Like how can you get someone's energy through a monitor? You know what I mean? It's
exactly.
like
And you don't know,
usually
like, it's like going out to
yeah, you go
dinner
to a
with
place.
somebody. You
Yeah.
see how they treat people. Like, do they treat the server or are they a blowhard who's like, I have a Cartier watch and I'm doing this.
Yeah.
If they're people like that, I just kind of laugh and chuckle at that because everybody likes to feel good about themselves. But when you see somebody trying so hard they're digging an 8 foot hole, it's like you're a cool
Yeah.
person. You don't have to go through all this. We love you, man. Just chill out, have fun. A lot of people, I think, have a hard time really having fun and letting go.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I'm not one of those people. I mean,
No, me either. You know,
if I'm
but it's
feeling
like
really crappy about something, I get busy. Like, even if it means
that's right.
counting cable ties here in my studio, which I don't want to show anybody because it's a state of controlled chaos. I mean, I've got a Pro Tools rig over here. In front of me, I have another editing station. And then I've got all the tools of the trade, with the exception of a bass, because I sold my friend my bass because he just really dug it. And if I ever need to use it, I can borrow it from him. So it's like, I don't know, but it's all ready to go. Like if I have something to do, even though nobody else would know, I could have this ready to do a session in like a half hour.
Yeah.
Somebody say, I want to come down and do some overdubs. I'd be like, great. Because that to me, there's no more fun that I have in the world, very few exceptions, other than being in the studio and having fun or working on a band or working on something that, like I've been trying to learn a lot of software on my iPad that is really
Hmm.
good, programming software, because
Hmm.
the amazing drum machine programs on that thing. And even though I'm a drummer, I love being able to
Yeah, I
just
was gonna
produce a
say
track. I
you
can knock it
if
out.
there's
I
a
can
drummer
have,
that
yeah,
yeah.
I mean, I'll do it. I can. It's like my brain is like a clock when it comes to metronome stuff.
Mm.
Oh, great. There's our boy. He's out of the storm. Good for you,
Nice.
Steve.
Yep.
We're glad you're
Nice
healthy,
seeing you, Steve.
safe, and warm. Next time he comes, this guy goes around the world often, every couple of years, I believe. And I think he is going to be coming here to New York, so we'll have to hang together. And
That'll be awesome.
if he
Yeah.
comes here, he can stay at my crib, and I don't know. We'll meet and go. We'll just go out and get monstered. You guys can get monstered. I'll just sign the checks, and we'll have a good time. And I'll have a great time anyway. I mean,
Yeah, I don't really
um,
drink too much. Yeah, I mean you already know.
yeah.
It's like some people we need to stay away from that sort of crap, you know. It's like other
Well,
than
I've learned that
a
not
couple beers.
drinking is so much better for your throat because it's
Oh
really
yeah.
hard on it. I mean, like I used to drink shots of whiskey, and then by the end of the night, I couldn't talk. But then the next morning, of course, you know how it is because you're a front person. The next day after any gig, when I first get up in the morning, I'm pretty hoarse, and I'm like, ah. As the day goes on, I'll start singing a little bit, and I'll be like, you're scraping down there. But once you clean all the phlegm off and you hack up a big lungful,
Yeah,
at that
exactly.
point, you can feel it. And I always, so I tell people too, if anybody in our audience, if you're ever like depressed, all you got to do, and it works for me, and I could used to in the old days get really bummed and funky and be in a shit mood that nothing would get me out of, and such a waste of time. Stoicism helps me because I just take things now and go, can I control this? Do I have any absolute way to fix this? And if not, I don't worry about it till it's time to worry about it because
That's
I
right.
know myself, I could sit and worry about all the things that might not ever happen, or I can do what I do. Sometimes
Yeah.
it's hard to get enough guests to fill the month. However, I don't want to just take anybody. And people I have on who are climbing up, it's because I like them and they're climbing up, and I'd like to think that we're helping them because even just knowing how to go on and conduct an interview is something that you have to learn. And a lot of the younger people, like in the ISSA organization, some of those, I have some of them who've been on the show for 5 years and they've grown up from being teenagers. And I feel like if nothing else, we help train them about, we might have been their first experience. It's like they're virgins when they come on the show and they're terrified. And then it's over and they're like, that's it? Anyway, I mean, damn, I hope that doesn't happen every time. Oh my gosh. But at any rate, folks, let's see. We're going to go ahead and bring on one of our, let's see, who do we need to advertise today? We have to go to, we need a red fuck here. So Darren Flynn it is. Here he is.
Like a melting flake of snow this year. I won't be sad to see it go. Hi, I'm Darren F. Flynn, a singer-songwriter from Ireland, and I'm on Live with Neve. I would have said it couldn't happen here. The people we
Oh boy, here we go. We got one.
Hi, this is Leland Sklar, and I am hanging with Neve, and I am having the best time of my life.
Live with Neve Fridays on the East Coast from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. This is Donna Frost, and I'm live with Neve. See you soon.
All right, all right. Well, we were back, and we're just talking fun stuff today. So,
That's
Mandy,
right.
are you gigging this weekend?
Yes, tomorrow, Twisted Ginger at Rocky's Bar and Grill in Rahway. Yep.
In Rahway?
Rocking
Oh,
out
you're
9.
back, same place.
No, different place in Rahway. Same town, different
Okay.
place. So we'll check it out, but we're doing 3 sets, 3 sets
After
of
we
face
get
film.
off, just send me a text to where it is, because I will try to get out.
Nice.
Last week when you
That's what's
played,
up.
it was kind of crazy, and
Oh, last
Friday
yeah.
was, I had 2 stops Friday night, and then my girlfriend had plans too, so I kind of was suddenly overbooked. But it happens, It's better to have
Yeah.
too many bookings than not enough, It all
That's
worked out.
right. That's right.
And
Exactly.
so that's cool. I'm going to call my friend Paul after the show, and I will see if we can't get him to be my associate. My aide de camp is how his technical
Your
term
wingman?
is. He's my wingman. When I was in the hospital and going through a lot of medical problems really seriously, Paul, he was just a great friend. Drove me to these appointments so I didn't have to ride on the short bus because with COVID, I'm like, I'm
Oh,
not getting in this thing with
yeah.
these homeless guys
Yeah.
hacking up a lung,
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that was when I couldn't drive yet. But now, I mean, I do anything I want. But I love having a wingman. Just go to the club because otherwise I
Yeah.
just sit there looking like a dork. I
No,
look
I
like
mean,
every other
me
guy's a band
too.
guy. I
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
sit there and it's like, hey, what's happening? I'll try and find some group to join in and buy them a few beers and just hang out and rock and roll. But God, it's amazing. The shows we went on time today, and it feels like the
Yeah.
show just has whipped by. And I don't know. Sometimes it seems that sometimes it just goes so natural and flows, and we have a good time regardless of how whether we have a great guest or not.
Yeah.
I really, to me, I like to do as many of these shows live as we can. When we have to run an old episode, it's fine. But really, I'm worried about the episodes of tomorrow. And
Well, yeah, sure. I mean, because why
that's
worry about
my
the past?
so like the month of September, I'm going to be spending a lot of time retooling our booking. I have like a whole list
Yeah.
now of like 100 new bands that are really
Hmm.
good.
Nice.
I'm gonna, and out of that 100, my closing ratio for people who want to come on the show, it's pretty good. It's about 85%. So
Nice.
very few people say, "Oh hell no, your show sucks" or anything like that. They go, "Yeah, I've seen a few episodes, got a few laughs." Remember, people, we're
Nice.
live without a net. This is what you see, this is what you
Yeah.
get. And
Exactly.
I've stopped yelling at the help. Get off of my sandwich! No,
There's no
at
one
any rate.
there.
So let me think. I had something else I wanted to talk about, but I don't have the book here. Oh, I do. So everybody in the Highlands, people who live here, Highlands, New Jersey. It's not the Highlands. Uh, I don't know if you can read it. It's John Schneider's Historic Highlands, A Sentimental Journey. And
Nice.
John is an amazing historian and a good friend of mine. Dear Ernie, for those who wonder, my middle name is Ernest. Our friendship means so much to me. Well, likewise, man. John, you're a great guy. You really write good stuff. And if anybody who's watching the show is one of my friends here in Monmouth or Ocean County or anywhere really around here, if you like the shore, he writes the history. In this particular case, his family lived here in the 30s and 40s, so he's got all the pictures from back then. And he just, I actually went out of my way to become a friend of this guy's 10 years ago, maybe, yeah, about the time Sandy came through. And just a great guy. He's got 175,000 subscribers, so we'll have to put that on our show. All you people who like the show will have some new and different because they're putting me in the hot seat as opposed to me harassing some poor guest who, I don't know, from
Nice.
Kenosha. I got to, yeah, so at any rate, everybody's watched. Think about it. If you don't mind seeing a few more, some political stuff added in, maybe we'll only do it in the morning. Uh,
Yeah.
and that
And
way
pretty soon
we
I
are
won't
on
be
the
here in the
East Coast.
morning.
And I'll also
That'll be sad.
I'll try and get some of these schmucks on so people from either party can like hammer on them. And I'll be the mediator. Basically, the rules for debate here, um, people, I don't care who you are, what party. If you be a schmuck, I'm going to bounce you. It's like, think of me as a benevolent dictator. I want you on the show, but don't come on and do what people do on the internet and start screaming and cursing at my fans and friends or at anybody, because this will be one place you can come on. And this is what I challenge everybody out there. If you're political, think of something that you could find one thing that you could just tomorrow compromise with the other side on. I don't care what it is. It doesn't have to be a big hot button like immigration. It doesn't have to be some big thing. It could be as much as why aren't the potholes filled? But tell us what are things that the Democrats and Republicans right now, not some pie in the eye in a month, what could you guys come up with that you would do sitting down tomorrow? I know right now, if I had a chance to sit down with people of both parties, I feel I could independently ask them some tough questions, but not unfair questions, nothing under the belt, but tough questions. And tough questions should be asked. And if politicians get upset when we ask and we're polite about it, you got every right. These people work for us, and they forget that all the time.
Yeah.
And I just got to say, hey, Brian, take care, my friend. Thank you for stopping by. All right, man. Brian, for everybody who doesn't know, if you don't know, you should know. The man is a monster talent. He's an extraordinary keyboard player. And more importantly, he's a cool guy. And he could be the best keyboard player in the world, but if he wasn't Brian, I wouldn't have him on the show and try to push his band. I really, I believe in him. And if you haven't seen any of his bands or even him alone, go out and check this cat out. He's always all over, from Prague to New York to LA to Chicago to wherever. But if you need to find out, if you're watching, you don't know how to reach him, well, he's here on my list somewhere for signing in, but just look him up. And if you're doing a record and you need a monster keyboard player who you can just sit down and say, here's how it is, here's the music, or here's how it goes, playing the guitar parts, he'll just jump right in and tear it up. Very fun musician.
Nice.
So thank you for being a friend of the shows. I do appreciate that. He's always been super fun on the interview. He's got a really smart ass sense of humor, but it's really dry. And so we have similar things. I do this all the time to my girlfriend. I'll say something just so dry, it'll go over her head, and she'll go, really? And I'll just look at her. I'm like, honey,
Me too.
no.
Yeah.
Think about what I
I get that
said.
reaction quite a bit. Also, I'll be like, no, not at all.
I mean, I like making jokes that are kind of
Yeah.
just cheesy puns, just something
Yep.
goofy. I mean, you've been here long enough.
Yeah.
You got to pitch a lot to get a few hits. So sometimes you try a joke or whatever, and believe it or not, I study a lot about what other people use for joke techniques and the science behind it. And, it's all like another little nugget sometimes while you're on the show. Like Tourette's man, who, please don't get upset, everybody. Tourette's man is resting comfortably. He's well medicated. He won't make any more visits to the show. My psychiatrist upped the dosage, so we're all cool. Oh my gosh. So there's enough out there to make anybody crazy. And all I want to say to everybody out there, just don't let the crazy get you down. Be cool, be
That's
happy,
right.
be as nice as you can be to people and as nice as they'll let you be. But don't spend a lot of time worrying about people's and their opinions politically, intellectually. Because remember, some of them are the common clay, the farmers, morons. Sorry, at any rate, not farmers, especially the farmers I like. So we will be back at 4 o'clock today, and we're going to bail out of here. Mandy, I hope you have a nice afternoon. I'll give you a shout a little
Thanks,
later.
you
I'm,
too.
I'm going to
Yep.
get tortured, people. So when you see me on the show, I'm going to be all like, they're doing all this neck and spine therapy and weightlifting, and I
Yeah,
hate it.
the whole shebang, huh?
My idea of a
Yeah, but you're
workout
moving
is
better.
sitting my drum kit. Oh, I am
Yeah, it's like
better.
you're feeling better, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah, I am. What happens is this buzz starts, but the whole show today I haven't had it happen once, which is an improvement. Because for
Nice.
3 months I've been walking around like they got a TENS unit on me. It feels like, and it's not that it hurts. It's just after a while, when every time you're trying to have a conversation, it starts and you got to like twist your neck
Yeah.
to get it to come undone. No, that's no way to live. But I've
Nope.
I'm ready, people. I'm tan fit, going on the road in the fall. Life is good. And let's see, we have one more message.
Nice.
Veronica, you're a sweetheart. We love you. And Debbie, man, we got the whole posse from down south. I don't know, man. We're trending in Australia. I love that. I really do. I can't wait to
All
visit
right.
sometime. Australia is like, I want to go down there. I want to box a kangaroo and do all the stuff they do. Full Aussie weekend. I might even have to get on beer for the weekend just so I can sit around, get drunk, and box with kangaroos or something. No, I'm kidding, people. I'll box his ass sober and put a kicking on him. He'll probably be all buzzed. Kangaroo standing there swaying.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that? It's pretty
Yeah, it's
crazy.
insane. It's pretty
It
awesome.
is. The
Yeah.
thing will kick you across the room too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
They have to put
scary.
gloves on their
I
feet
wouldn't mess
because
with that.
I know. I've seen the one that stands there in the window and he's like, you ever seen that
Yeah.
picture? He's all
Yeah.
muscular. I mean, I'm a bony bastard. That thing looks
He's
like
like
he kicked my
jacked.
ass.
Yeah.
He sees himself and he's just like, come at me, bro. Come at me. It's like
Yeah.
crazy. We're getting new comments. Be good. You too, Gina. I know
Oh,
what you're
thanks, Gina.
capable of out there.
We'll try.
We love you, Gina. And thank you for all the great music you posted this week. All right, peeps. I'm going to pull up some music and we're going to get out of here. And now the ever popular.
Hello there, my name is Andreas Hellqvist, this is Daniel Olsson, and we're live with Neve.